What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java Season 2. And I'm going to end up killing myself if I keep on flying in third person, because I've had to re-record this section around about 4 or 5 times now. Mainly because the first time I did nearly die. I'm starting over here at the ongoing Witch Hut project, just to give you a quick progress update. Me and Mac have finished doing the perimeter clearing of the sort of chunks that run around the outside. So that way we're ready to run the carpet bombers once we get them up. And why is this little section here not waterlogged? There we go, that's better. So we've dug a 3-high gap underneath the entire area, half slabbed the entire floor, and then waterlogged all the half slabs. Me and Mac was also making sure that we took a lot of care in filling in and getting rid of any and all lava lakes that we came across, and there was a good few that we had to deal with. But that is now all sort of taken care of, so hopefully we shouldn't run into issues regarding lava lakes when running carpet bombers across the area. And that is literally it. We just need to run the carpet bombers, get rid of the main chunks of land that's left, and then actually build up the farm around the actual witch huts, which are in each corner. And then obviously tidy it all up and decorate it accordingly, because we have got plans for doing a sort of pattern on the floor as well as towers along the wall. There's a lot of cosmetic plans for after the farm's up and running, but yeah, once we get the carpet bombers up and running, I'll definitely bring you back. The whole point that I've started you off over in this area is because the area that we want to work in is over in our industrial area. So if we just fly on over to here, and it shouldn't take too long because I'm fairly sure it's, yeah, just over here. And by industrial area, I mean our singular farm that we've got set up over here at the moment. I did flatten out all the terrain around it with a 5-block perimeter around the edge of it, and made sure to fill in all of the water, the gaps, and then I got rid of all of the grass and flowers, torch spammed it so it's all spawn proof, and then I've marked out the outline of where I want to put the building over it. I do still need to design the building. That's not going to be in today's episode, because there's a farm that I also want to build in this area, so that way when I am working on building the actual building that encompasses this chorus fruit farm, that farm will then be running. And the farm that I want to build today is in prep for the next sort of enclosure area that I want to build for our zoo project. So, you know, it all sort of ties in bit by bit, gradually. There's always method to the madness as to why I do things and when I do them, and this one just happens to be one that I need to do. Yeah, simple as that. But yeah, nevertheless, the project itself is going to be a bee farm, because we want to work on a bee enclosure, but in order to do the enclosure the way that I want to do it, I'm going to need immense amounts of honey blocks and honeycomb blocks, and I do mean a lot. Not enough that's produced by our bee farm that Sai set up over at our villager area. So me and Sai actually went over there and bred up a bunch of bees. So then we've got just 2 full shulkers filled with beehives that are full. So that way we've got the prep ready for enabling us to build this farm. We've got grass blocks, so copper blocks and honeycomb in order to polish, or wax shall I say. Got our stone bricks, and then we've got a bunch of glass for, obviously, glass bottles for the bee farm, because in order to get the honey bottles, yeah, it's all ties together. And I have actually picked out a little area. This farm I'm not going to have out in the open, mainly because I've run into issues with bees. Whenever I've tried to do a bee farm, there's always 1 or 2 that escapes one way or another. So building it within a cave area that I'm going to dig out just over here, I think is going to be the better bet, and hopefully it's going to be a decent enough area, because I'm thinking of having 2 sections of 16 hives, so 16 on each side, and then one's going to be honeycomb, one's going to be honey bottles. We'll have a collection area underneath for crafting all of the blocks and basically recycling the bottles back into the actual farm itself. So that I've not worked out. The actual farm itself I have designed in a creative world, so I know how to build it fairly confidently, he says hesitantly. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out the area and hopefully I've got the resources necessary in order to build the farm. And then once I've built it, I'll sort you. Sort you? No, I'm not going to sort you. I will talk you through the ins and outs of the farm and why I've done things the way that I am going to do them. Yeah, so I guess we'll just jump straight into the time lapse. Alright guys, so we've managed to get the 2 bee farms in and up and running. All the redstones now in on them. Let me just quickly walk you through exactly what I've done with the redstone. If we're able to navigate around here. Can we break you? Not successfully. Let's just put that there. Okay. So we can sort of have a walk around and I can show you what's going on. So the redstone behind the actual machine, you've probably seen a dozen times if you're seeing one bee farm. It basically runs off of a comparator signal coming from the beehive itself, and then once it reaches a signal strength of 5, it will then activate the dispenser above it. This side is filled with glass bottles, as you can probably tell. And we've this is probably what took the most amount of time, is gathering all the glass for the glass bowls. But yeah, we've got all of that, and then the other side is just mirrored, but it's got the shears instead of glass bottles. We've also put in a bit of a kill switch at the back here. So once the barrels down here get full up and then the hoppers behind get full up, it will send the signal. Once that hopper gets full enough, it will then activate this redstone line, which will then push these sticky pistons, cutting the redstone line up top, and it will stop the dispensers from being able to fire until I turn it back on or empty the barrels. I'm also going to be wanting to hook a on-off switch, so either side will have an on-off switch for each one, honeycomb and the honey bottles. That is purely so because we're going to have obviously so many farms running in this area, and when it comes to this sort of farm, I don't want it continuously shearing the hives or using bottles on the hives if the hoppers are full. And when it gets to a point where I've got so many honey blocks, I'm obviously not going to want this farm permanently running whenever I come over here, because crafting the honey blocks and the honeycomb blocks it's not a very enjoyable task, should I say, but it's more of a case that it's just very choresome to have to do it when you don't need to do it. So once I've got enough blocks for my needs, then I'll probably shut the farm off and then activate it again when and as I need the blocks being produced. But obviously I'll have enough blocks kept in storage, like probably a shulker or two's worth, just so I've got them on hand for any future projects. But this is now producing, and what we are going to be working on now is the rest. Like the cosmetic side of it, we've gone with the same similar style that we went with the chorus farm. So we've got the copper trim with the bricks, and then the stone bricks as the foundational supports up and top, bottom and top. Yeah, bottom and top sounds a little bit better. We are going to have to get this half slab back, thank you. And then in order to do one of, there we go. Otherwise it will annoy me that that's not replaced. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is we are actually going to want to probably open this up a little bit. So we're going to want it 4 wide, going all the way down, and then decorate accordingly, or are we going to want to take it up 1 more? So it'll be 6 wide. We go 6 wide and then have like a bit of an archway coming down, so it'll be that shape. And then right at the end there, we're probably going to put in a piston door. But yeah, what I'm going to do is sort of get the rest of the cosmetics done. So I'll get the sort of walls tidied up, the floor replaced with I may actually get some smooth stone and do smooth stone tiles for the main pathway blocks, because it's got a very sort of industrial feel to it. It's like clean polished stone, and then we can have that as the floor, and then use the bricks and stone bricks as like a surrounding foundation blocks for the actual structures themselves, rather than having a overuse of just the normal bricks, like stone brick. Is it stone bricks or bricks? It is stone bricks. Okay, so they're just called bricks. Do you know what gets really confusing when I'm trying to explain what I mean when I say bricks, 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 bricks constantly? But yeah, it's like, because these are just normal bricks, so I may just start referring to these as clay bricks. I do apologise for that, my phone should be on mute. But yeah, what I'm going to do is start clearing out this area and sort of get it ready for the cosmetic sides, and then I'll probably do cosmetics once I know exactly what I'm doing. But I'm going to have to smelt up some stone into smooth stone, and then once I've done that, then I will bring you back once I've made a bit of progress, I guess. So yeah, catch you back in a bit. Alright guys, so that took a little bit longer than I expected. It's one bad thing about going into the sort of cosmetic designs completely blind, because you're uncertain as to what you're doing and how you're placing blocks, and yeah, so it took a lot of different tweaking. I did also, after that little bit of a time lapse, I did also make some... Can we sleep please? I did also make a little bit of a change to the walls, because where I was thinking that I wanted the what are they called, the archways, I wasn't really liking the way they looked. I did put in the piston door. It's on a timer circuit, so that way you've got a decent amount of time to come in and out. But yeah, like this side, this is how they were looking with the stairs. So then I swapped it out for these straight pillars with the walls, which I just think looks a lot more sort of industrial and polished off, rather than that monstrosity that just... Yeah, I don't know why I left that one. I wasn't... It's a good example though for me to be able to show you the differences, but I was not actually intentionally leaving that there. Can we change that? Do one of these, do one of them, do that, and then we can do that, and that's that done. Yeah, we have got a... I was also umming and ahhing about the lighting sources. I was thinking about doing the strip lighting, just like the I was about to say hallucinogenic. No, the halogen bulb lighting that you get in office blocks. Just strips of it going all the way down using end rods. But I tried that and it wasn't covering the entire area unless I had it on every single block. And I wanted these segregation points just for the sort of structural integrity look, and that way it wasn't just one obscenely long stretch of the brick and copper. I don't know if I should put something in front of the copper though. I may try do like stairs of the bricks on along the top and bottom, or maybe put in some brick walls, like every so often, like take out these side ones and just do every other block being the brick wall, just to sort of add a little bit of depth and texture. But I'll sort of tinker around with that after I have done recording for today. But yeah, everything else is pretty like done and polished off. I was actually supposed to go and get some crafting benches, because I want them for obviously crafting the blocks that I'm going to want. So can we get some wood? We're going to need 32 crafting benches. You know what, oak wood's easy enough for us to get a hold of, and I have apparently not got a crafting bench down here. Fine, we can make one, and we want a lot more than that, so we're going to want 32 of you guys, just so I can put them underneath. Now I know that it would be a lot easier for me just to get a hopper minecart system and pick up the end product and just drop it all off to a singular point. But on the other hand, it's also a case that I want the system to be able to shut off by itself when it starts getting full to a certain degree. And I like the way that it is, like the whole sort of manual aspect of it, being able to come over here and then having to harvest and craft up the blocks as and when you want them, and just that little bit of maintenance work in an industrial area makes it mean that I can come over here and there's stuff for me to actually do, because the whole everything automated and you just go to the one area and be completely AFK for hours on end and everything gets done for you, that's not playing a game. That's I don't understand. It's just, I understand getting everything automated to a certain degree is great. Yes, it is. But you've also got the case where when you automate something so much where you're no longer required to play, is just the sort of situation that I don't want to be in. Oh, this is going to be a lot harder than I thought, you know. Okay. Why wouldn't it like just let me continuously craft them? I really wish it would. Oh, yeah, we've got loads of honey bottles here that we need to sort of go crafting through, so I wish there was an easier way of doing this. Apparently there isn't. Can we just get, thank you, one of these guys. I think it'll be easier. Yeah, there we go. A lot more inventory room in order to craft them. Oh, that's why it's because it's keeping like 4 empty bottles in the crafting grid each and every time, which is a little bit annoying. I forgot that it does that. But yeah, this is riveting stuff. Oh my god, I didn't even realise that was a thing. Since when could you put honey back into bottles from blocks? Again? Oh my god. Well, this is a valuable lesson learned for me. So yeah, so that's all done fine, and then what we do want to do is grab our barrels back and then just stick them back into place. We are going to, actually, can we just, yeah we can, there we go, nice. Let's throw that one back into there, and then we can get out all our stuff, put these bottles away, and then we're going to do the rinse and repeat on the other side, but the other side should be a whole lot easier, considering that we're not going to have to deal with, well, what we've just had to deal with here. All of the bottles. It's been a good while since I crafted any honey blocks. As you could probably tell, it's a not a seamless and smooth transition for me. But we did get, what's that, 1, 2, 6 and a bit stacks of honey blocks so far. Now, in order to do the project that I want to do, like the next zoo enclosure, I'm going to need quite a lot more than that. So it's going to be a good while over here, and I think before I go ahead with the next main zoo project, I'm probably going to want to spend a lot of time over here doing the exterior building for the chorus farm. Oh wow, got a lot of honeycomb blocks out of that though. Happy days. Do one of them. And then we can put all these barrels back. Thank you for your service. See, that was a whole lot smoother, wasn't it? So altogether we've got, oh my god, 18, 19. So yeah, the main sort of wall blocks that I'm thinking for the next enclosure are going to be the honeycomb blocks, and then honey blocks are going to be like accent. And then I've got a whole plan, okay? Don't worry, just don't think about it. But I'm going to have to get a shulker box in order to store these. But you know what I can do is put the honey blocks over on this side, the honeycomb blocks in that side, and yeah. That way we can just come back and sort out a shulker system for these guys. I'll put some empty shulkers here, ready to pick them up as and when I craft them. Coming in here with a full inventory trying to do this was a very, very silly mistake though. But yeah, that's the bee farm pretty much done and dusted now. I will consider doing a more automated version, but in order for all of the items to be picked up and taken off to a main collection point in order to do the crafting a little bit simpler. As you can see, the only difficulty that I really had there was my inventory being too full, and the fact that the empty bottles stay in your crafting grid after crafting, which I completely forgot about, which made me do the uncraft and recraft because I had no idea that you can craft honey blocks back into honey bottles. So yeah, I learned something new. But the one good thing about the honey blocks is that the glass bottles can obviously be recycled. So the whole shut off point for this is so that the dispensers do not at any point completely empty of glass bottles, because once one inventory slot becomes empty in the dispensers, it will then sort of mess up the entire system, and that's something that we do not want to happen. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, because that's definitely going to be it for me today. And if I let this segment go on for any longer, this video is going to be obnoxiously long, just like the rest of my videos. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.